Alright, you guys are good. Don't worry about it. Alright, so good afternoon. My name is Ulysses Guerrero, and I will be explaining the aircraft, the MV-22, Alpha, Bravo, and the Charlie, plus the CC Ram mod. The aircraft was a concept back in 1960. Bell took the responsibility for the concept of it. They were developing it. They were trying to get it developed, but they were running out of funding, so they brought in Boeing. And Boeing brought in the funding, and they started helping out building the fuselage. So they broke it down in two different spots. So the wing is down to Bell. So anything that has a nacelle, the rotors, the blades, that's all Bell. Boeing takes care of all the fuselage. So anything that has the pilot seats, inside the troop seats, all the equipment, the tires, the sponsons, all the way to the top where you attach the wing. Excuse me. So in 1960, when they were building the concept, they put a couple concepts together. It didn't work out. They kept on trying. They went back to the board and they kept looking at different ways how to do the V-22 effective. They came out with the V-22A model, and that's when it was the A model / LRIP. That's when they put just the prop boxes in there. They brought in the tag boxes, the engines, the rotors, just enough to make it fly, and that's the concept of it. The first production bird came out of the line back in the Boeing plant, March 15, 1997. Once the production was built, they put it on a truck, they sent it out to Amarillo, Texas. In Amarillo, Texas, they put the wing on top. That's when they grouped it together, they started testing it at their flight test, and it was the first successful flight test back in 1998, September 21st. So they had their first successful run. After that, it got delivered to New River, Marine Corps Air Station. Can you pause it? All right, so the aircraft got sent over to NCAS New River, and it was delivered to VMM T-204. At that time, production of the aircraft costed around $70 million to create. At the end, they ended up dropping the aircraft down, and they brought it down to $63 million per aircraft. Now, with the V-22, they started the production phase as well as flying phase. So they had three different sites, the Amarillo, Boeing, and the testing of the aircraft. Testing of the aircraft, when that started, that was back in the 2000s. That put, to see how capable the aircraft could, pause that. Okay, so the aircraft was trying to find out the limitations on the MV-22 Alpha. At the time, when they started testing the aircraft, the bird was able to fly up to 28,000 feet, and it would go at 280 knots, and that's per hour. Now, it carries 22 troops, plus your crew chief and your two pilots. What? Okay, so the aircraft, after being tested and they got their records on flights and hours, now we're moving on forward to 2007, where the MV became the Block B model. The Block B model pushed the aircraft in 2005 to make sure that it will be capable for the Marines, the Air Force, or whoever operates the aircraft to be successful in mission capable readiness. So they handed over the first set of 12 over to 263, and that's when they put the aircraft to work. So they started testing it, they started getting combat ready. The squadron started preparing. They took it out to Yuma, they took it out to New Mexico, they took it out to Pax River, cold weather environment. They took it everywhere possible that anybody could think of. When the aircraft did become ready back in July 2007, 263, VMM 263 from New River was the first squadron to successfully deploy with the MV-22 in Iraq. And they used 12 aircraft in Iraq. And all their mission capable was just resupply the military troops down on the ground, help with casevacs, so casualty extractions, and medevacs. And pretty much anybody that came down important, they'll be their taxi for them. Also, when they were down there, they had one mission that they had to input a couple troops into combat, and they completely passed, and that's what the aircraft was meant for. So the V-22, the Bravo block, just pause that. I was thinking. All right, so the V-22 in 2007, after Iraq, with VMM 263, they went into giving more aircraft down to 162, same units in New River. And they gave 365 aircraft, and they pushed away the CH-46. Once the CH-46 got pushed away, they retired those, and they started mass producing the V-22, which in Boeing, they started fabricating they got a contract for over 360 aircraft in a lifespan of 10 years. They're down to 289 currently, and they're trying to move into the Block C at the same time, CC RAM production. Because now that we have your Block B and it's going into your Block C, when the first birds got built, they got transitioned through the mod team from an A to a B. Now you have aircraft currently that are Block AB or Block Bs, but we need to make them Block Cs. CC RAM is that program where they're going to bring a Block B straight into a Block C, which is called CC RAM. They're flying them back into Boeing, and they're ripping out all the harnesses, ripping out all the stuff entitled inside of the bird, new components, new boxes, new heads-up displays, new troop seats, new props, new everything on the aircraft. It's pretty much rebuilding it from the ground up. The only thing you're going to have is the skin that's original on the aircraft. Pause it. So CC RAM is bringing pretty much all 350 aircraft back into Philadelphia and rebuilding them from the ground up. Now, with the 22, it had a lot of successful missions out in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the government is seeing that we could use that type of model aircraft, that tilt rotor, and it'll be successful in future missions. So now with the 22 going out of phasing out Block A's, phasing out your Block B's, and your C's are here to play, that's why CC RAM is bringing them up to speed. Now we're looking at other countries that are looking to buy this type of model series aircraft. And that's it. I'm thinking of something to close it with. So that's gonna be the main principle of having the CC RAM with the 22 and a lot of no, kill that. I'm gonna kill that. Okay, that's why most nations are buying this new V-22, and the CC RAM program is going to help them out with that. So that concludes my speech, unless you got any questions for me.
Yes, I have one question.
What's your question?
So as far as military production and stuff, obviously they're used to carry troops and stuff. If they're going to be selling them to the civilians, what kind of capabilities will the aircraft be able to provide for the civilian side?
It will provide everything the same as military, but it will not have the capabilities to produce like your ComSec stuff, your secret stuff in your aircraft. You will not have that inside a regular aircraft. So they would just be like a regular helicopter out flying in the.
So they use them for maybe news, medical evacuations.
Medical evacuations will be one of them. Yes.
Okay. Disaster reliefs and stuff like that too, and supplies.
Yes, they actually used that out in Katrina back in 2004.
Okay.
So yeah, that worked out. Anybody else? All right. Well, that concludes my speech. Thank you.